Hello friends, welcome in. Today we're going to talk about why do things like this even exist? Because this was not invented because some guys were like, hey, let's make a cool instrument. Like, not at all. This was some science dudes that were like, hey, you think we can science our way into making sound? And they did, like, pretty successfully. So first, it's pretty good to understand the differences between what I grew up with, these keyboards, where you could just press a button and, instantly you've got a sound. You press another button, you got another sound. They can do all the things that the other ones do, kind of, because they're an evolution of it. But you got to go through these menus and stuff. It's quite difficult. And at the end of the day, these are digital devices. They're not making analog sounds. And that's a big part of it too. So back over in our science land, so they figured out, hey, we got this tool, right? It's called an oscilloscope. And if we plug a microphone into it and listen to a sound through it, like say a brass section, a horn, some trumpet or something, it's going to show us a waveform. And so we think we can replicate that kind of stuff. Bam, they did. So here's an oscillator, right? This is going to make a sound, right? And so first we're going to listen to the sawtooth. It's a jagged looking one. It's what they saw when they listened to the brass instruments. It's kind of sharp. Now then when they look at the clarinets or the flute, they see a sine wave. It's super smooth and flowy. Right? Exactly what that is. And they've also got this one. It's a square wave or a pulse wave. It's got little square bumps that go up and down, but you can change the width in between them, and that gives you different sounds, right? This control will let us change the width. We'll make it narrow. Ooh. It's more like a bassoon or a reedy instrument, right? Put it back in the middle, and it gets more hollow and round and kind of has both characteristics. So they definitely scienced their way into making sound, right? We got the sound. What else happens to them? We put them through a filter. It's like an EQ, basically. Manipulate it a little bit. The section down here is just a mixer. That's all it is. But we put the sound into the world with this envelope, is what they call it. I don't know why. Maybe they envisioned putting some sound in an envelope and sending it out to the world. I don't know, man. It was a long time ago. But we've got this here. If we want the sound to come at us fast, we have our attack low. Switch it to a high attack time. Comes very slow, right? If we want to let go of that sound fast, have our attack low. Switch it up high, and yeah, it just fades into oblivion. If we hold our key down and we want to keep hearing it, that's sustain. If we turn that down, the note's going to go away really fast, which is good for like bass notes. Oh, that wasn't bassy. And that's all of it, right? So then they figure out, you know what? If we put two oscillators at the same time, yeah, that's starting to sound really cool. We got a natural chorusy thing happening here. You say, yeah, nice. So now what also, if we just drop the octave, everything we're doing makes it cooler, even bumping the mic. So let's listen to a sawtooth wave, Oscillator 3, and we're going to use Oscillator 2's waveform to change the pitch on Oscillator 3 to give us a vibrato, which is basically just slightly changing the pitch up and down of your note that you're working with. So we want to make sure that our vibrato isn't too fast or slow. We'll set that with the frequency, right? So this is what it sounds like. So a slow, big wave, it's really long. We don't want that. Too fast? Too fast. Maybe right in there. And then we have this control to bring it in and take it out. So we can go vibrato. So, and that's one of the magical things about a real synthesizer like this is that you can move, kind of patch the parts anywhere you want to and do different things and have a lot of fun with them. Really just think about this thing as just the blocks. Don't get confused with all the stuff and the writing. Oscillator, 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 EQ, filter, and envelope, putting it into the world. That's the whole shebang. Now, the other things are fun. We can do fun things. Let's put this oscillator 2 back with oscillator 3. Get it in tune. And introduce random notes from a thing called sample and hold. And that's where we get all that crazy sci-fi sounding stuff. What if we want to take our actual note and just make it angry? You're kind of not limited at all in all the many things that you can do with a synthesizer like the ARP 2600, which is what this is. So there you have it. We have demystified synthesizers, and we know they're awesome because the analog thing, that's why everyone's obsessed with them. They sound so good. Analog versus digital, we just keep learning again and again that the analog versions of these things just sound huge, you know, especially when you're in the room. So that's it. We did it. You're welcome. Cheers. Rock your day.